Welcome to Home and Away, a Tottenham Hotspur podcast hosted by myself, Graeme and Glen, where we discuss all things Tottenham Hotspur with both the match attending and international supporters view. This week's episode will take a look back at the PSG Champions League match and the home match against Fulham on Saturday, and we'll look forward to the Newcastle match tomorrow and Brentford at home at the weekend. A lot to get through, let's get into it. Glenn, are you good?
Yeah, I'm okay, other than Spurs.
Not convincing.
Yeah, other than Spurs. I think that in your intro, Graeme, you said about covering the PSG game and the Fulham game, but I just, where to start? I think we start at Fulham, actually, because you were there.
Before we start,
Yeah.
I have to apologise if I sound a bit odd today. I massively bit my tongue in the night, and my tongue is swollen.
Oh, shit.
And I feel like my mouth's half the size it should be. And I keep lisping, and I don't know what it is. But so apologies in advance for that.
No worries at all. So Fulham, PSG, let's cover PSG. I mean, an entertaining game in terms of what makes a game entertaining. There was a lot of goals, and I think some of our front play looked a little bit better. But it's quite telling to me, everyone was harping on about how much better we looked, and yet we had Kudus and Xavi on the bench, right? Our so-called big summer signings, right? But again, that PSG game, it was stupid individual errors, or just very similar to the goals that we conceded against Arsenal in that not getting out. Not getting out, not closing down.
Around the D, it's like a free hit, isn't it?
Yeah, not closing down. Just the lack of. Well, and then Romero. I mean, just doing
games, didn't they?
Yeah, just doing dumb stuff. I was quite happy for Moani in the PSG game.
Yeah, I thought he was excellent in that game, and I think we really benefited from the youth in midfield. We had Sarr, Bergvall, and Archie Gray.
Yeah,
and I think that we progressed the ball forward a lot quicker. We just looked like we had more intent, and we got into attacking positions a lot more frequently than we did. I mean, even at the weekend, we'll go into that. But it's almost like you drop. Palhinha acts like an anchor and like holds everything down.
Yeah.
I did. I thought. I was quite positive. Although we lost 5-3, I tell you what, I felt like. I felt like after we lost 4-1 to Barcelona at Wembley.
Yeah, I remember that game.
Where we played quite well, but like they were just superior in every aspect. And I thought that the PSG, when they needed to, could have almost scored at will against us. In the end, they looked really good. And it's weird that it scores a hat trick, and like 2 seasons ago he was playing at Wolves.
Yeah. Well, and also we'd have to get Zhao back on to confirm this, but is it fair to say that he's not really known for his goal scoring?
No, he isn't. In fact, he and sort of the two Portuguese midfielders that play for PSG are the regulars for the international team.
Yeah.
Palhinha hardly plays.
Yeah, okay, so is it Neves and Vitinha?
Yeah. They're very good.
I mean, the other one, I thought our first goal, and I think I said this to you in the chat, our first goal was a throwback to the 90s with actually 2 strikers up top working together. It was like Sutton and Shearer all over. Yeah, it was a great goal. But yeah, like you said, I think PSG in the end just had too much for us. But notwithstanding from the fact that some of those goals were avoidable, and then the penalty, that was just stupid by Romero. You know,
I think I felt like we at least gave it a good go. I did give them the previous game was the North London derby where we basically didn't get out the fucking coach, did we? At the stadium, it was pitiful in comparison. So yeah, I at least felt like they really ran themselves and did everything they could to try and beat them. And in the end, the better team won.
Oh, for sure.
You couldn't argue with that, could you really?
Well, and in the context of the Champions League, it puts us 16th, right? So, but interestingly, only 2 points off of 6th, right?
Yeah.
So it's all to play for still, and you'd expect us. Well, actually, I don't know if you'd expect us to do anything, but you would hope that we'd beat Slavia Prague, and then we've got home to Dortmund and away to Frankfurt, which we know all about them from the Europa League campaign. So it's still all to play for in the Champions League. Like, we should be able to theoretically, we can make that top 8 if we sort our act out. But whether or not we do remains to be seen.
I think it was interesting, though, because possession was about 50-50 against PSG. And the XG, not that I keep saying XG, but it was quite similar. There was a little bit more for PSG, but actually it was significantly better for us. But then probably the main difference was we had more chances and they had better quality chances, and they took more of them as well. And I think that's the main difference between the two teams. Is the quality of the finishing was excellent for them, and yes, we scored 3 goals, but we have to make twice as many opportunities to score the same number of goals, which is just a sign of where we are at the moment, I think. And we talked about it a little bit beforehand, didn't we? That we've been fortunate in that we've had some really dour managers who play some really negative football, or really low block defensive counter-attacking football. And we've, even when it's been horrible to watch, we've been able to score goals because we always had Son and Kane to bail us out, and we just don't have the quality to finishing anymore.
And we'll pivot to it in a minute, but that Fulham game, Mawani, who, look, he's doing better, he's offering a bit more, but he had some really big chances in that Fulham game as well, which Kane or Son puts them away, right, you would think. And we've just been quite, I don't know if spoiled's the right word, but just really fortunate to have them in the team, like you said. Like, it would paper over the cracks, right, of...
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It's like the season with Mourinho. I think they scored the highest goals and assist contributions.
It was like...
Two players together, didn't they?
Yeah.
So,
frustrating.
It was, but at the end of it, I was like, okay, so on to the next one. The Fulham was an opportunity for us to play a team with really, really terrible record, who had only got 1 point all season, who had only scored 4 goals away from home and conceded 13. It was all set up for us to get a really good home win.
And then, why at home is he persisting with playing? Essentially, they call it a double pivot, but 2 defensive midfielders, and then again, Xavi's not getting a kick, which I hear a lot. Oh, Kulusevski's injured, Madison's injured. They're so creative, but then the one creative player we have, he's either not using him, or when he's using him, he's not playing him in. I don't get it.
He's playing him in front of a double pivot that aren't ever giving him the ball.
Correct. Like a Fulham. Mate, you were there, so the Fulham game for me. I mean, what a mess! What a mess! I
think I used more swear words in the first 6 minutes of that match than the entire of last season.
Yeah.
And last season I swore quite a lot as well.
Yeah.
And it was just unbelievable. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was like schoolboy stuff. I mean, I would have been pissed off at an under-8s team that made mistakes like we did.
And
we just literally shit the bed. The first 6 minutes, we were 2-0 down after 6 minutes, and the second goal, I just laughed. It was that bad. It was like 2 things. What the fuck was Vicario thinking? Why didn't he just stick it into Rose's head? Just punt it as far as he could and get back in the goal. Not trying to pass it down the line and just literally giving it straight to an away shirt. And then he's like 40 yards from goal. And not a single defender.
No one covered.
No one made any attempt to get back and get in the goal.
that is for me a really telling sign on. I fear for Frank, and I fear for what's going on within the club at the minute and the players. I wonder if he's lost some of the players, because that's mentality for me. Like, if something Ange had in spades was you'll run through a brick wall for him. And if you go all the way back to the Europa League final, when Vicario came out and made that blunder, and then Van der Ven was on the line. Where was that on Saturday, right? I mean, I think it was like
I kind of just watched.
I think it was 17. Was it 17 seconds, that whole patch of play, which is quite a long time when the goal was in.
You could have had 6 players on the line by that.
Yeah, they're just all watching. And then I've heard it said by some, I think they were just all in shock at what he's doing. I go, you're a professional footballer. Like, you see the goals empty, you get back. Like, you just get back, you cover it. And I think Udoni slipped, but still, like, it's, yeah. Just
but what was he doing out there in the first place? You know, he does that a lot. He goes walkabout.
Yeah.
He comes for stuff that he probably shouldn't be coming for. And is that because? Well, there was a few times there was like punted balls into channels that got them in behind us quite a lot. And then when they were quite direct when they needed to be, and they put us under pressure. And that's what happens when they do. We just don't cope well with it. As soon as we're facing our own goal, or the ball's in a dangerous position where it's a 50-50 and the keeper has to come out of his box to make a clearance, just anything could happen, couldn't it?
Well, it's interesting talking about how we're defending. I saw someone sent me something. I don't know who this person is, but he was on X, and he says, basically, Ange with a healthy back five kept clean sheets in European final, semi-final away, and quarter-final away. We've just conceded 11 goals in 6 days while focusing solely on defensive football. You don't sack managers who win you trophies when you're not a club who wins them regularly. And this has to be discussed, because I was of the view, I don't know where you sat, I sat firmly of the view what I thought Ange Postecoglou had earned the right to see where that momentum and that collective spirit, which was there for all to see, in the parade, after the final, during the final, however you want to break it up. I think he earned the right to get the first 10 to 15 games of this season. Now, someone might say to me, that's not how you run a football club, Glenn. You don't roll the dice. But what I'm seeing now, I would have rather seen Ange have a go.
It couldn't have been any worse, could it?
Couldn't have been any worse. Like, he's had the collective, and it's things like that, Graham. It's things like the goal being open and no one getting back. Is that mentality? Is that, I can't be fucked?
I think we've been lucky that we've picked up some away wins, right? Because home form is relegation form. Actually, home form for the first.
We haven't won since August.
Yeah.
It's December.
That was Burnley.
Yeah.
But before Burnley, I worked it out. It was like, I think it was April. So we've won. So Burnley's the only game we've won since April.
Which isn't obviously.
We won 3-1.
Which isn't solely on obviously Frank, and I think there's even context to Ange in that April, and then before that we were obviously focused on the Europa League. But your point is a valid one.
But listen. Excuses aside, home fans have had to sit through 9 months of utter shit, and I'm not joking. It's painful to watch.
What is your season? What is our season?
There's no one near me. There's no one there. No one's there.
Yeah.
Not a single season ticket holder around me. No one. I couldn't give away your ticket for the match.
Yeah.
No one would want it. I sat there. There was 2 empty seats one side of me, 3 the other side, 2 rows in front of me, 7 seats empty each. Just no one there. It's a Saturday night game.
Which is always that. Yeah, it's going to be difficult for a Saturday night, but still, I mean, when you haven't won a home game since August, I mean,
and I think I know I don't agree with booing Vicario, like individually Yeah, he made a mistake.
I don't really
He
see
knows he made a mistake, right? It doesn't need to be reinforced by the crowd. He absolutely knows he's fucked that up, right?
You boo a player, or for me, he was getting the same type of flack as what David Beckham got when he got sent off in the World Cup in '98, right? That was silly. You kicked out. He's made a mistake, right? He's come out. He's got the ball. He's fuffed around with it, like but I've heard
even David Beckham didn't get booed by Man United fans.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, they backed their own. Yeah,
exactly.
One thing I've heard, and this is kudos to Vicario, he approached the press officers after the game. He wasn't up for being interviewed, and he said, "I want to go and apologise. Like, I want to own that." So fair play to him, right? He's obviously a man of good moral compass and a good character. And look, it's not ideal, but the defenders have to share some of the weight of responsibility too. The goal's empty. Get back. Like, if I'm playing 5-a-side and my goalie does that, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I've still got an eye on the goal.
and I, all the press conferences afterwards, and Frank was very. All the stuff I'm reading in the press about the players have got together to talk about the disconnect with the fans, and they're all getting together now. Basically, they're like they're scared of the home fans.
Don't be shit then. That's what.
I mean, the home fans will absolutely be behind him if they think that we look like a football team, and at the moment we just don't.
I'm seldom like this, and I'm seldom knee-jerk like this, but two things can be true at the same time, and what I mean by that is Frank can be the wrong guy for this job and out of his depth and not know his best team, and we can be a club that sacked too many managers, right? Those two things can be true. Yeah. I feel, and we're getting to the Newcastle game in a sec, if we're on the end of a 4-5-0, which could happen, 4-5-1 or something, it could actually happen. I think he's gone. I really do. I don't think he.
Season, haven't they?
Yeah.
In the league
I don't see a way back. And again, am I saying it's ideal and a good position to be in? No. Like, I'm not happy about it if it was to happen, because I'm sick of seeing it at Spurs, the club I love. But to fall this far, we had a significant jumping off point, right? We've won our first trophy in 17 years. We've won our first European trophy in 41 years. We've got all of this noise coming out of the board. We're going to be behaving differently. And what did Vinny say? I'm not saying we've got a war chest, but there's money to spend. I don't trust Frank with that money. I have to say.
I think it's interesting as well, because you could almost say there's a lot of similarities between this season and Angie's first season, in that we had a very good start in both.
Yeah.
And then around this time of year, you could say that this all started with that Chelsea home game. With Ange, and that it's just we've gone in a death spiral since then. It's like, and we hardly won a game again after that, did we? Yeah. We struggled to pick up any points, and I feel a bit like at the moment. We were looking at the fixtures, right? If you look at the fixtures between now and Christmas, now and the end of the year, we've got Newcastle tomorrow. We've got Brentford. We'll come on to in a bit on Sunday. Sunday, I think it is, isn't it?
Saturday 3 p.m. Yeah, Saturday 3 p.m. actually. Yeah.
Then we've got Slavia Prague in the week after that. I think it's Forest
away.
Forest away. Then Liverpool.
Who will probably find some form eventually. They've got too good a players.
Dr. Tottenham will see them. It's not a problem.
Yeah. And then away to Palace.
On the 28th, we've got Palace.
And then weirdly, we played Brentford away. So we played Brentford basically twice in the league, twice within less than a month, because it's that Christmas weird period, isn't it?
New Year's Day or something?
Yeah. 8 p.m. New Year's Day. That's convenient.
and then we play again on the 4th. We play Sunderland.
Yes, at home. Yeah.
So like, I'm looking at the matches, and maybe we pick something up against Slavia Prague, but I don't see us picking more than a point up between.
But the thing is, Graham, thing is, Graham, imagine that we did, and I was listening to the last word on Spurs, and their view was that let's play in a world where we eke something out away to Palace and we manage to eke something out against Liverpool. 1-0 or a 0-0 or a 1-1. It's the manner and how we do it. That's becoming more of a problem for me now in terms of not only are we not winning games, when we are doing something,
like we're going to win them.
we don't look like we're going to. We don't create anything. We don't do anything. We're relying on fucking long throws. We're no different to Wimbledon. For our listeners and viewers, Wimbledon of what, the 90s?
More fighting them.
Yeah, it's long balls.
To see Vicario grab someone's balls or something just to kind of liven them up a bit.
Yeah, it's long balls. It's hopeless crosses. I mean, can't remember Porro. I think some crazy stat between Porro and Kudus, they were 5 in 35 for successful crosses. So that's 5 out of... I mean, what the fuck?
But half the time, there's no one in there for them to...
Correct.
The attackers aren't in the right positions when they are there to do the crossing. And also, that's coming back to the Fulham game, that we were completely unbalanced, right? We played 2 up
totally.
And we played a right winger, and we had no one on the left whatsoever. And Udogie, who might come up and give you cover on the left, he can't cross the ball either. He comes inside. So
Spence can't cross. He's like him, yeah. I mean, and just staying on point with the Fulham game, you had a bit of a anecdote, a story, some booing in front of you, or was there an argument?
There was around the stadium there was a fair amount of general booing because, understandably, we've been fed an appetite of shit for a number of months, and people are fucking pissed off about it. They're paying top dollar, and it's not even about the winning. It's just it's awful to watch. And someone was very, very vociferously booing. He was loud. This one guy. I'm bearing in mind, right? I'm on the top tier of the stadium, and he's in front of the top tier, but no one on the pitch is hearing him. But he's really giving it large. He's really loud. And someone tried to get at him. Another supporter tried to get at him, to have a fight with him.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. And it happened at the beginning of the second half. And then at the end of the match, the guy went over to him and he nearly kicked off again. They were having the stewards had to pull them apart in the end. They escort one of them out. But this is where we're at. There's obviously some. Not everyone has the same view or wants to share their thoughts in the same way on the match. And I think I said it. I don't agree with booing Vicario or any individual player on our team. I just don't think that's remotely helpful. But I think that at the end of the match, if people want to boo that, I don't have an issue with it because how else do we show our disappointment with the team? How else do we do it?
Do you think Frank gets it? In terms of the one thing that Ange, and some could argue he done the thing when he cupped his ear.
Ange had a very thin skin, right?
Well, he did have a thin skin, but one thing I would say he did, right? But with Ange, he seemed to understand and want that connection with the fans, right? If I go back to the parade, and he came out and said a few words, and he said he thanked all the players, and he went, and they did it for you. This is for you.
But
do you think Frank gets it?
But I think it's very easy to do it when you've got the trophy in your hands, right?
Sure.
In the second half of last season, he did a load of really stupid stuff, like calling people out.
Yeah, he did, and he cupped his ear to the...
and all that. He did all that stuff, right? And he didn't enamour himself to the fans, and the fans were giving him shit at away games, and he went after them. It just... that was a guy under a lot of pressure, and that was a very thin-skinned Australian under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
He's going to come out punching, right? Whereas with Frank, I think is they have the right to feel whatever they want, but
he's called us out. He said they're not real Tottenham fans, but for the Vicario booing, I don't know if I agree with that. I don't agree with the booing of Vicario, but they're paying their money and they're real Tottenham fans, mate. It's
Oh yeah, trust me, if they're not a real Tottenham fan, they ain't fucking turning up at the moment. They're
yeah,
if
yeah,
you're sat
exactly.
there watching that every week and you're
Yeah,
not turning up, you're a real
yeah,
Tottenham fan.
yeah. Actually, very good point. Very good point. But do you think? I'll put it in the room. Like two questions. As he lost the dressing room, is the job too big for him? In your view, having what you've seen,
It feels it at the moment. I'll be honest, it does feel it at the moment. But what I'm not seeing is this famous improvement of players.
that's the worry, isn't it?
Bringing through, improving the talent that we do have. Like we bought these players in, and he can't even Xavi, who's supposedly a decent, Dutch international player who's played at some really big clubs, can't get a start for us. And yet we've got, and also just generally, we brought in this coaching team that at first I thought they looked really good, but I don't see any of it in the matches at all. I don't understand. Is it that he's? What I think might be happening is, and I've got no proof of this, but what I think might be happening is that when you're Brentford and you have an inferior squad, but you have the ability and you have a week between each match, to work with the players on being really, really tactical and have a really strong pattern of play and understand how you're going to play, and actually counteracting how other teams play. So you're basically playing anti your opposition all the time.
You're not thinking about yourself.
Negate the other team.
Yeah, you're thinking about them, not you.
Yeah. And I feel like we change everything for every match, and it's like constant. Like the only consistent thing is the change at the moment. Like with every match, he sets up differently, no matter who we're playing against. So, but we're like, I feel like we're giving too much credit to some of the lesser away teams. That we're setting up with two defensive players to play against Fulham at home, and Wolves at home, and these are teams that they should be worrying about how we're playing, not the other way round. But I don't think we know how we play because we're like a chameleon. We're trying to play differently in every game, and I don't think the players. It's not working with the players because the players are playing in different positions, playing different ways, and I don't think. And the amount of time between the matches, like 3 days, 2 or 3 days between each match. One of them's probably a rest day, so they're probably getting a day or day and a half of training in between each match. It's not enough, I don't think. They're not. Not all footballers are bright sparks, right? They probably need to have it drummed into them consistently over a period of time. And I don't think we do the same thing often enough for that to be the case.
Yeah.
So I don't think it really matters how good your coaches are if you're constantly changing what you're doing. I mean, it's like the opposite of Ange, right? It's like Ange would never change the way he played, apart from in Europe, which was weird. But he did play differently in the last 3 rounds of the Europa League. But in the league, he consistently played the same way, irrespective of what players were available to him, and irrespective of who we were playing against. Whereas Frank's the opposite. He's constantly changing it to suit the other team, never thinking about our own identity, how we play and what we are.
Do you think, like, for me, I had this thought as well watching that Fulham game and seeing who wasn't in the team, and you think of someone like Xavi Simons. It's a World Cup year. You're 6 months from the World Cup starting, and then not only that, from the players' perspective, not getting enough minutes, are the owners and the people that hold the purse strings that have done the investment looking at this, going, "Hang about, we've spent how much?
Why did we spend that money on that player if he's not going to play?"
Yeah. Like, and I'll go back to my point earlier. Like, two things can be true, right? We can be sacking too many managers, and Frank can be not the right guy. And also, if we were to decide to part ways, it's every chance. Not that maybe they'd say this publicly, but Vinny and the Lewis kids, or they're not kids, but the older, the daughter and the son and whatnot.
They're older than me, I think, and I'm old.
Yeah. They're not children, but their get out, maybe they wouldn't say it publicly, is, well, was
They
Frank
think they'll
actually
blame
their
Levy.
appointment?
It'll be
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
Was Levy's decision.
Yeah.
That'll be the
Yeah. Which maybe it was,
okay.
right? But then it seems very strange business decisions to allow the guy that's going to be, because that wouldn't have come quickly, right? Well, maybe it did come quickly. I don't know, like because Vinny and Levy were having joint interviews.
Either they'd already decided that Levy was going, but he was the right. They thought Frank was the right man. Vinny was involved in that, so maybe you don't know what kind of back channels are going on in those discussions, do you? Either between the current ownership and the current management team. I don't know. I feel like nobody. They must have thought he was the right guy, but I still think that Levy's a really easy scapegoat for them if they do want.
Sure, of course.
But
and I think
right, it's like who would we want to replace him? Do we go for something similar? Do we go for an Iraola or a Glasner, who we're in? It's just as big a gamble as Frank, I think. In that they're managers who play potentially nice football, but don't have that experience of European football.
I'm hearing a wild one. Robbie Keane, 2 league titles in 2 countries, 66%.
Where was it? Was it like
win rate?
And...
Yeah, tactical 4-3-3 and a Spurs legend. He's Hungary, I think he is at the minute, and his last one, it wasn't. They've not been of note. I actually view it the complete other way in what we should do if we were to, or what we should be securing if we were to make this decision would be. I've found it, by the way. It's in Tel Aviv, Maccabi Tel Aviv, and Ferenc Rakos have. In Hungary.
Did he manage Maccabi Tel Aviv?
He did indeed. Yeah.
Wow.
He did indeed. Yeah. Yeah, for a year. Yeah, and he had a decent record. Yeah, he won the league there.
I wonder why he left.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, back to my point on if you were to make a decision to part ways with Frank, I actually think they could do something completely different. Jurgen Klopp. If you want to go and make a statement,
I mean, that would be a statement.
Go and chuck money at him and say, "Come sort us out." I'm not saying that will happen, but I'm saying that's the type of manager that's currently available. As far I think he's head of something at Salzburg at the moment. He's not a manager. But there's not many, right?
No, and
there's not.
The thing as well is it's not even just the management changes. It would be like ripping everything up again, right? We've spent the summer building a coaching team around Frank. A lot of people that came with him from Brentford, one or two others that we've been brought in. Even like we've been bringing in like medical staff from Brentford. And all kinds.
But everyone's saying, not everyone's saying, but I'm hearing a lot. Oh no, it needs to be left alone for 2 years. Okay, so when do you make the change then? So in a year we're 17th still.
I mean, where are we now? Well, we must be like bottom half, right? Or
we're definitely bottom half, and I think if we were to lose to Newcastle and then results go against us over the weekend, we could easily be, I think, 15th.
So we're not not much different to last season.
Yeah, because Fulham have 17 points, we have 18. They're 15th, so they're only a point behind us. So if we were to lose Newcastle, they would win. Then we lose Brentford. So it's not.
Let's have a look at that then. So we're talking about. Let's have a look at the game tomorrow, Newcastle, right? So Romero's back. So I don't know. I guess that's a good thing. I don't know how we'll set up against them because he will change it again. He won't play the same way as he did at home against Fulham. I fully expect it to be a 2-man, fairly defensive double pivot again. Probably no Xavi Simons again. Probably, I'm imagining he'll go for a bit more physical because Newcastle are quite a physical team. Do you I just don't see us getting anything out of the game. I honestly don't think we get anything out of the game. They've beaten us once already this season in the cup, and we've struggled to play up there. It's a shitty kick-off time. It's 8:15 kick-off on a Tuesday night, which means none of the supporters are coming back on a train that night. So I don't know why this match is on a Tuesday night now. I'd rather get rid of some of the stupid friendly international matches and have one less international break and play our matches on a weekend like normal people. I don't understand this one. I'm not very positive about it at all. I know we've been better away from home, but Newcastle, there's something about that stadium. We've got such a bad record up there. It's almost as bad as Emirates.
I'm just looking at the head-to-head on. Yeah, we haven't beaten them for ages. We haven't beaten them for ages.
Big losses up there as well, haven't we?
Yeah, we got pumped 4-0 under Ange, 4-0 and 4-1 under Ange, and 6-1 under. Was that Stellini?
That was his last game, and it's Stellini's.
Yeah. The last time we beat them,
Hugo Lloris's last game as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Injured at half time, and then we never saw him again.
In the league, we beat them 2021 away. Yeah, it's a game that we're not going to win.
That would have been Mourinho.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah. We're not going to win. We're not going to beat them. They're physical. They're strong. They're up for it. They've turned a bit of a corner. They're looking a little more.
They had a good away win against Everton, didn't they, as well?
Yep. It's irrelevant to me what he picks because I don't think he knows what to pick. I don't think he knows his best team. I'm concerned. I'm concerned, A, that we get pumped, and B, I'm concerned for him. That could be, if we were to lose heavily, but put it this way, even if we were to lose 2-0 and the performance was once again abject, I can see that being the end. And if we were to lose heavily, I think that's the end anyway, right? I just worry. I do. And
it's so bad at the moment, I'm not even sure I want to watch it.
And
I never feel like that. And I told you as well, the Fulham match broke my own. The one rule I have about football is you always stay to the end. And I did. I didn't leave really early, but I walked out 30 seconds before the match. I didn't even wait for the whistle. It was that bad.
Yeah.
And I never do. I've never done that. Not in all the matches I've ever been to. That's the first time I've ever walked out early.
And as far as going back to what he might pick, I mean, I would simply play. This would be my team moving forward. It'd be probably Porro or Spence right back, right? Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie. I would have Polinia holding in a diamond. I'd have him holding. I'd have Xavi at the top of the diamond. I'd have Kudus on the right, Odegaard on the left, and Richie and Moani up front. It's essentially a 4-4-2, but with a diamond, right? But that won't ever get played because it's too. Oh no, we've got to do this.
We won't play that up against Newcastle, I don't think.
No. But in home games, why aren't you playing something like that? Being a little more on the front foot, But
the problem
we don't need.
Even with two strikers on the pitch, we don't look like we've got any threat. Our chances created and our goal scoring is very limited, even with enough players on the pitch. It doesn't seem to matter the number of attacking players we have on the pitch, which says to me either the players are ineffective as attacking players, i.e. they can't score goals, or the system that we're trying to play does not create the chances. Doesn't create enough chances.
Yep. I mean, so if I put a prediction on it for me, I don't know, 3-1 loss maybe, 3-1, 4-1.
Yeah, I was thinking 3-1.
We'll probably score. I can see us having a spell in the game of 10-15 minutes, and we might have a bit of a go here. And then
we'll probably be 2-0 down before.
Before we get going. Yeah.
I'm not very positive about the match. I would say 3-1 sounds like a reasonable prediction to me.
And then off the back of that, on the weekend, Brentford at home.
Yeah, we move on to that. I mean,
again,
Brentford actually now look better than they did last season, and that's
100%.
losing most of their coaching staff and their manager, and their 2 top goal scorers and Norgard to Arsenal.
It's because they're a very well-run football club, much like Brighton, right? Brighton lost the Messiah in Graham Potter how many years ago, and Brighton are currently 5th in the Premier League, and they've gone through, I think, 2 managers since, and they sell their best players. Much like
a really good job.
At Brentford, absolutely.
He was their, set piece coach last season.
They're a point ahead of us. Again, it's a game. Let's see what happens against Newcastle if somehow we get something out of the game. But it's a game that Brentford will probably have something to prove a little bit, I wonder. Keith Andrews coming up there against Frank. Yeah.
And
wouldn't that be a...
And if I were them, do you know what? Brentford always really come out the blocks quickly, right? Whenever they play against us. And they could, if they do what happened to us, what Fulham did to us last weekend, we don't recover from it. We just don't. And I think that's what worries me, is that they know that if they can get an early goal, that the crowd will turn, and the players will be under a lot of pressure, and it will be a toxic environment, and it will be the best possible scenario for them.
And assuming that we don't get absolutely pumped against Newcastle, and we somehow maybe, if we lose, but we give it a good go, maybe we turn it around. I don't know. Maybe this is all going to be okay, and we're beat Newcastle, and then we're going. And I don't see it, but the fact of the matter is, if Frank is somehow still in the job after losing to Newcastle, wouldn't it be quite a sad outcome that he loses at home to Brentford, and that's what does his job? I can see it happening. I mean, but my view is, I don't know that I don't know if trust is the right word, but I haven't seen enough to give Frank, say, 150 million to spend in January. When you've spent money on Xavi and Kudus, and there's times when they're both on the bench, I don't think he knows his best team, if that's the case, right? But then it goes back to, well, who comes in? I don't know.
We need a goal scorer who can actually consistently put the ball in the net. I'm hoping that.
But let's not forget. Well, Morani's only on loan, mate. This is the thing. Yeah. So that's not a solution, is it? Really?
No, there's no option in that deal either.
Hey. It's funny. I
think we do need balance with it. I think we still need a left-sided attacker.
Oh, I don't disagree, but it's like, which manager do you entrust with that? Right? Have we seen enough to suggest that should be Frank?
The rumours were starting up about Savinho again, who signed a new deal already.
But then that's more money to get him out of there. Yeah.
Well, they're talking about 50 million, which is less than we were willing to pay in the summer.
There's 2 schools of thought with this. The club are, come what may, backing him, and we're just going to see when we get to the summer. And that means that he gets the money to spend in January, because there is going to be money spent in January. There just is. They've said there will be, and we need reinforcements, right? Or they cut their losses after a couple more defeats, and they say, right, we're getting, I don't know who.
Well, I think we kind of need to make a decision by the end of December, right?
Have to, yeah.
Because if you're going to get someone else in, you probably want to have that money spent on players that they want, rather than, I don't know. But it just feels like, and also that it's not even just that, is it? So if we are planning to replace him, you want to do it fairly soon, because you want a new manager to have time to talk to the scouting team to make sure that we're approaching the right players now, so that when the window opens, we're ready to go. Not wait until January the 1st and then start talking about who we want to sign. Because by then, anyone who really wants someone has already done the deal, and it's just a rubber stamping exercise when the window opens. We've been really poor at that, and it's something that's frustrated me most of the transfer.
And I feel
the business was done so late.
I feel like a poor podcast host at the moment, in the context of, I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know who he's going to pick. I don't know.
It's almost impossible to predict lineups and formations.
Yeah.
I don't know, your guess is as good as mine at the moment.
Yeah. It's like, I don't fucking know. Like he seems to just change it for changing its sake, which is bonkers. So, but
let's try and predict the team tomorrow night. Look, just purely as an exercise, right? I think he'll play the usual back four.
Porro, yeah.
Van der Ven,
Yeah.
Romero's back. I think tomorrow he plays Benton, Kerr and Palhinha. Then I think he plays Kudus on the right, maybe Bergvall in the middle, and Odegaard on the left.
And then Luani or Richarlison up top.
Probably Richie, I'm thinking, against Newcastle.
So again, that suggests to me...
And it won't work.
Yeah.
And then he'll make some subs, and then we'll look a bit better for a while, but we've already been 2-0 down. We might pull one back, and then they'll score a third.
The only change I'd say on that, in my view, is I think Xavi Simons probably starts.
Not against Newcastle.
You don't think?
He'll get bullied.
But that's a worry, isn't it?
That's my worry, is that he looks really lightweight at the moment.
Well, Stephen called that out, didn't he, ages ago when we had him on?
Technically, I said it jokingly before, like it's like the new Brian Gill, but he is a bit like that, right? He's, Brian Gill had all the talent in the world, but he looked like men against boys when he played in the Premier League. And I think maybe Xavi needs to just bulk up a bit, get a bit more physical. I don't know, just holding players off better. Just be a bit more press resistant.
And what the fuck's happened to Sarr? Like Sarr, off the back of that Europa League final, he started the season
He's
really well.
the best player by a country mile in pre-season, and he's been used very sparingly, isn't he, through the season?
Yeah, and that's a worry. But again,
every time Archie Gray's played in a sort of an 8 role, he's looked really good. But again, he's hardly played any matches this season as well.
So coming back to the Brentford game, again, it's hard to do two things. It's hard to pick a lineup or understand what he's even going to do, but then it's difficult to do a prediction. Depends what happens against Newcastle, but I can see a defeat. Like, I think we might draw, and I don't think that'll be enough for him. Then you're going into mid-December having not won a home game since August.
So the home games we've got between now and Christmas is...
the home games we've got...
Brentford and Liverpool, right?
Well, let's have a look. Yes, we've got Brentford.
The Prague game.
Yeah, home games before Christmas, Brentford and Liverpool. Liverpool...
We've got, and then Forest and Palace away.
Yeah, and I don't subscribe to this. I think Arne Slot will still be in a job at the end of the season. I think Liverpool will sort it out. I think this is their transitional season in terms of the players that they brought in. I think they'll be fine. I think it's probably Salah's. Yeah, I think it's probably Salah's kind of swan song, like end. I think he's being phased out of the squad, the team. But I think they'll be fine, and I think they'll probably rock up to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and relish playing us and probably spank us. It's not very good at the moment. There's not a lot of positives, mate.
I wish I had more positive things to talk about, but
I don't
feel that I see nothing that says to me that this is going to improve over the next few weeks. I could be wrong, but my eyes don't lie, right? Yeah. What we're watching is awful to watch, and I don't see him changing it much. Or I see him changing it a lot, but not in a way that's gonna guarantee us results. And unless suddenly one of our strikers goes on a rich vein of form, scoring a lot of goals, and all of a sudden we're, instead of scoring 1 at home, we're scoring 3 at home consistently, and we start outscoring teams.
Yeah,
which is something we've had even under Ange. Like, on occasion, we would score more goals than the other team, right?
The thing is, right, I can't even sit here and say I really feel sorry for Frank, because I don't really know what his identity as a manager is. Like, I can tell you what Mourinho's was for good or bad. I can tell you what Conte's was for good or bad. I can definitely tell you what Ange Postecoglou's was. Ironically, we won it with very anti-Ange in the Europa League final. But Frank,
even Nuno,
yeah, I mean,
you know how he plays.
What does Frank? What is Frank? What is Thomas Frank's identity as a manager? Tell us, listeners and viewers. Please contact us and give me a sentence on what Thomas Frank's.
Because he said, I mean, in all the interviews, he said, "I want to play attacking football."
Then do that.
Maybe tell the players.
Yeah.
Because you say it in a press conference doesn't mean make it so, right? He needs.
Well, that gets on my nerves with him too. In every presser, either before
He's got
or
a lot to say, isn't he?
He talks a lot, and it's like after games, particularly it annoys me because he says everything we should have done. But why didn't we do it?
Yeah. He's very good at that kind of post-mortem. Maybe he needs to do pre-mortems.
Yeah.
Let's think about all the shit that could go wrong during the game and fix it before the game, and not talk about it after the game.
Well, and it's a strange analogy, but it's like when I take the kids to Scouts and I volunteer with Scouts, like they have a plan, do, review, right? And then it's like the plan doesn't seem to happen at Tottenham. The review seems to happen, like retrospectively, but the plan isn't there. Like, what's your plan? Like, because I guarantee you, the plan against Fulham, whatever it was, you're 2-0 down after 6 minutes. So fucking change it.
Yeah. I mean, that was it. But if you give any team a 2-goal head start, then you're afraid you're playing away, haven't you? You're going to have to play something completely differently.
It has to, yeah. You have to change it. He didn't really.
No, not really. Not till half time.
Yeah. Exactly.
We do a thing at work called a pre-mortem, which is we get everyone together who's involved, and we work out all the things that could possibly go wrong.
The risks, yeah.
And we fix them. We de-risk them all before the match. Well, not
yeah.
Much, but the principle would be, let's not. We can't just coach and train for the happy path, right? The things that, or if we do everything perfectly, this is how it will be. We also need to know if things don't go to plan, what do we do then? Because it doesn't feel like we have a response, or that we react quite quickly to those kind of things.
Yeah. No, it's.
I feel that it's been quite a negative episode, unfortunately, because I mean I think we're probably reflecting the feelings of a lot of supporters at the moment.
Well,
nobody can be happy with our current lot. I think others have been more upset and angry than I think we've been. I think we've been fairly balanced, considering. Could have been a lot more. Could have been a lot worse, but so sad. All started with the positives and really look forward to this season. I thought this was a real opportunity to build again.
But
and I think
it's frustrating.
This season's a bit of a write-off already. I don't see us competing for anything. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the light bulb comes on and it all suddenly starts working. But that's a degree of optimism which I think is probably misplaced at the moment. We should see, I guess.
Yeah, it's certainly not ideal. Well, and in many ways, geographically you're certainly closer to it than me. But you've been going to games, you've been around it, so you're getting that perspective as well, right? Which is not ideal. And like you talk about the 8:15 kickoff for the Newcastle game. For me, that's a nice kickoff because it's 7:15 in the morning on a Wednesday morning, and it's like. Great, I'll watch that live, but I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, I mean, just the thing is that even if someone offered me a ticket to go up to Newcastle,
you wouldn't go.
I wouldn't want to make that journey.
Yeah.
Even if I had a nice hotel for the night afterwards, and I could come back down.
It's starting to remind me of how I felt, and it's funny because it was the last game we actually went together when I was back a couple of years ago. The Conte, Stellini, Rob Mason shit show. It's starting to feel like that, and ironically, that was a Newcastle away game where we went and got pumped 6-1, and I was back, and it was on Sky Sports. And I was with my cousins for a barbecue, and all of my cousins, my mum's side of the family those cousins are all Arsenal fans, so that was fun. So, yeah. But yeah, that's what it's reminding me of. Like, even on Sunday morning for me, the game was 7 a.m. because it was 8 p.m. in England. I didn't watch it live. It was a Sunday morning, so I got up about 10 to 8, made a coffee, had some breakfast, and then put it on. And then I thought, what have I done? I'm ruining my Sunday.
Why did I bother?
Yeah.
You can imagine, having travelled for 2.5 hours in the car, parked the car, walked. It was freezing Saturday night.
Yeah, I saw the temperature because I've been speaking to Mum. Mum gets here.
I made the mistake of underdressing for the occasion. I had a lighter jacket on than I probably should have had.
Yeah, I think it was like a high 4, wasn't it? Yeah, as I say, like high 3 or 4 degrees. And I know that the one I'll leave you with this positive. The one positive I have in my life at the minute is my mum arrives on Friday, and she's here for 6 weeks. So I knew the weather in England had been appalling because she's looking forward. Because I said to my mum, I was like, "Oh, it's not been great here. We only had a high of like 19 the other day," and she's like, "It's been a high of 4 here." Yeah. So I'll leave you with that positive. Mum arrives, and she loves her football as well. So no doubt we'll watch some games together when she's here. Hopefully we can turn it around and win some of them, whether it's with Frank or not. But I don't have a great deal else to add. I've got some work commitments to get to, so I will leave you with "Come on, you Spurs," and let's hope we can turn a corner.
Yeah, thanks to everyone who's listened in. Please like and subscribe to the podcast to tickle the algorithm so we can get in front of some more Spurs supporters. And as Glenn said, to close us out, come on, you Spurs.
Cool. What we do is,